Hello, everybody, and welcome to our channel. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
Today, we're going to talk about the fact that now that the regular season's over with, between the games between the Indiana Fever and Phoenix Mercury, I think we can safely conclude that reality came for Diana Taurasi. And hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell when you do. So by now, everybody knows the story behind this. Diana Taurasi was interviewed on ESPN, and she said that reality was coming and that Caitlin Clark was going to have this learning curve. And she said that she might look superhuman against 18-year-olds. And also at the end, she kind of said, oh, and some people it takes longer than others. You know, like a little snide comment to her. So some people didn't have a problem with it. I did because of the way she said it. And also because she downplayed her by saying she looked superhuman against 18-year-olds when she was playing against 18 to 23-year-olds, which is a big difference. And then that little snide comment at the end, you knew she was trying to say, well, it didn't take me long, but it's going to take her long. And reality coming, you know, full-grown woman and all this kind of stuff. And then it kind of got magnified when the marketing department, I don't know if she had anything to do with it, but I'm sure she approved it. They put a banner up, I guess you would call it, with her being called the legend, and then a silhouette of Clark saying the Rook, and then they gave the date of the game they were going to play. So, you know, promoting the first game. Let her know, you know, the legend against the Rook. So obviously
the silhouette was one where she was towering over this supposedly small little.
Right. There was definitely an inference that, you know, the Rookie's going to get a lesson here from the legend. Definitely. Like I said, I don't know how much say she had in the design of this, but like I said, I'm sure she approved it. So, anyways, in the games that took place, Caitlin Clark won all 3 games against the Mercury. Now, Diana Taurasi didn't play in one. And then when they played against each other in the All-Star game, Caitlin Clark's team won over Diana Taurasi. So she was 4-0, 3-0 in games that Diana Taurasi played. And I'm just going to give you the stats for the games against the Mercury as opposed to the All-Star game, which, you know, wasn't this kind of the same situation. But in the 3 games against the Mercury, Caitlin Clark shot 46%. Diana Taurasi shot 37% in her 2 games. Caitlin Clark shot 28.6% in threes, and Diana Taurasi shot 25%. Clark had 6.7 rebounds. Taurasi had 3.5. Clark averaged 11.7 assists. Taurasi averaged 3. Clark averaged 21.3 points, and Taurasi averaged 17.5. Clark did have more turnovers than Taurasi.
Oh, turnovers, Mark.
It's not even close, though, in terms of overall what happened.
Oh, okay.
And it's safe to say that not only did Clark outplay Taurasi, her team outplayed Taurasi's team.
Yep, they won.
And it's safe to say that really wasn't quite as rough on Clark as Taurasi made it sound. Let's put it that way.
I wonder if she was surprised by that. Mark, do you think she was surprised by that, or she knew? I think she knew, because she, like you said, she's a basketball player, and she's pretty good. She knows about basketball, and she saw Clark play. So do you think that she was kind of like maybe even trying to convince herself that, oh, geez, maybe she's not going to be that good when she comes into the league?
I think she overrated the possibilities of Caitlin Clark playing and the possibility of, if she did defend Clark, whether she could defend her well. She's 42 years old. She's never made an all-defensive team, and she's a liability on defense at this point. So if I was her, I wouldn't be talking smack. That's me. When they asked her about the first game coming up, they go, oh, yeah, it'll be fun. Like she said, oh, it'll be fun. Like almost like it'll be fun for me, but not for her.
But my question was, do you think that she knew that, you know, that she was going to be she could play ball, but then she just talked like, well, kind of downgraded her, like, I don't know, well, she didn't have reality, and she's going to be playing against grown women. It seemed like she was trying to convince herself that, this fantastic player is coming into the league.
I don't know, Rob. You're asking me to read into Diana Taurasi's mind, and she's a complicated character. I know that she knows basketball, so my guess is she knew how talented she was. That's my guess.
Yeah.
But she also, part of her were probably thinking, all right, she's talented, but so am I. So she's not going to be as good as I am because she's got a huge ego. So I guess I'm kind of conflicted on what she was thinking in her head.
I think she might have been. I think she might have been a little taken aback or surprised by how good she really was.
Or how good she's playing now. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I think the whole league is. I mean, I'm not, but
Yeah,
the
I was gonna
league
say
is.
which is very strange, Mark. I don't get it. I really don't get
Most
it.
of the league is surprised. All of ESPN is surprised. All the haters are surprised. Some YouTubers, almost all of them black, most of them female, are surprised. Maybe some people who went to Connecticut and South Carolina and LSU, Tennessee, who have tribalism for those universities, are all surprised at Caitlin Clark playing this well. But people who know basketball who are objective are not surprised by how she's playing. Although I will say she's actually passing a little bit better than I thought she was going to, because she's actually passing better than she did in college. I think she's upped her game one more level in her passing skills.
Right. Even like you said, even I think the whole NBA, I'm sorry, the whole WNBA didn't, they're like, oh, we didn't see this coming. I mean, my example is like, okay, you're standing on a railroad track and you see the train coming at you. And you're like, geez, maybe I should kind of get off the track. This train's coming. I see it coming towards me, but I don't know if it's coming that fast, And then I guess some people did not get off the track and they're getting run over by Caitlin Clark.
And I got Facebook posts to prove this, because I had Facebook posts right before we started this channel, and I've got our early videos. And I was the first one to say this. No one said this before I heard it. I said, she is the best passer in the history of women's basketball that I've ever seen. And that's when she was still a senior at Iowa. So this does not surprise me. I said, she's a dual threat. She's a great shooter, and she's ultra competitive. And she has the it factor. And she's going to be potentially the GOAT. And I said that when she was a senior. And I think you can make the argument that she was the GOAT in college basketball. Certainly her last 2 years, she played at a higher level than anybody else. Nobody else could have dragged those two teams to the finals 2 years in a row. No player, not Cheryl Miller, not Brianna Stewart, not Maya Moore, not Candace Parker. No one could have dragged those teams to the finals. So I maintain that she was the greatest player in the history of women's college basketball, at least for those last 2 years.
Because some of those players, most of them their teams were stacked. They had stacked teams, not just they were the best players, and they had great coaches. So their team was stacked. So she brought up a team. No one knew about Iowa. They're like, Iowa. But then
they hadn't made a Final Four in decades.
Yeah. I mean, they had a couple of good players before, but no one brought, no one's signaling Iowa as this powerhouse team that's going to be in the Final Four every year,
Right. I'm not saying other people weren't thinking this, but I wrote it before I heard anybody else say it. That's all I'm saying. And I was right.
So
the haters were wrong.
So you can be in the I told you so mode. That's good, Mark.
I'm going to be in that told so mode for the rest of her career, unless she suddenly turns into a bust and doesn't get any better than she is right now, which seems like it's impossible. She'd have to have a major injury or something like that for that to happen. Yeah. She's too smart. She's too hardworking. She's just going to get better and better. And guess what? Taurasi, I don't know if she's retiring this year, but it's going to get worse than every time they play.
Yeah.
And they might meet in the playoffs, but I doubt it, because they're too close together. And like 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, and 3 versus 6, and 4 versus 5. So they're not likely to meet in the playoffs unless they both pull an upset in the first round. Then I guess they could potentially meet. So it's probably the last time they might ever play in their careers if Diana Taurasi retires this year. She stole her 6th gold. She's probably going to go out to the sunset after this year, but she hasn't announced that, so who knows?
Right.
She's not playing awful, but she's not a major factor anymore. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't know what's going to happen, but if not, we'll see her play next year. And I don't think, the numbers are going to be equal next year. I think it's
all right. Well, reality struck. Reality has struck.
Yeah, the separation is going to be even bigger next year.
Mm-hmm.
So reality came for the wrong person is what we're trying to say. It came for Taurasi. And it didn't surprise me or, Clark fans, but I think it surprised haters and Taurasi. I thought that this was a fitting end. They beat her team every game and outplayed her in all the games. So, anyways, let us know what you think. If you're a big Taurasi fan, I guess you won't like this video, but it's not our fault that she got outplayed and she was 0-4 against Caitlin Clark. Make down below, make some intelligent, non-insulting comments, and join us live. And then we're going against the Minnesota Lynx on Saturday with the delightful coach Cheryl Rave.
Yeah.
8 o'clock on NBA TV.
Smiley.
And she's another person. Unfortunately, she's not a player that Clark can, do well against. But they beat the Minnesota Lynx once before, so let's see if they can beat them again. And normally, my live show is on Monday nights from 6 to 8 Eastern. Join us for that. We can talk about this if you want. You can call in for that show. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, what are you waiting for? Please do so. Hit that notification bell when you do. We're going for 4,000, and we're getting close. We need your help. And if you like this video, hit the like button. And if you want to donate to our channel, you can by hitting the super chats or the super thanks down below, or there's a link to PayPal. And we'll see you in the next video.
Peace out.